Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear brothers, sisters, viewers and friends of Ikra TV. Welcome to another edition of Real Talk. I'm your host, Iqbal Bana. As I keep saying to you every week, I come into your homes, invading your privacy, particularly at this time of the evening when people are busy, getting ready for the food and the children, etc. But in the process, I hope I'm bringing you some interesting subjects and issues and people to talk about those issues and those concerns that we may have in our community that we need to be aware of. As you know, we've done programs on a number of subjects over the last 4 or 5 years, covering all sorts of issues from children to adults to education to employment to health and Islamophobia, for example, and what has been happening in Gaza over the last, particularly the last year and a half in particular. As you know, we've done several programs on the suffering of the people of Gaza. And this week is particularly important because it is Palestine Week as well. People across the country and world are marking Palestine Week. And what we're hearing now from President Trump and others is of huge concern to people across the world, particularly people in Gaza and Israel itself. But today, I say to this every time that we have a special program. But today, it's a real special program. And I'm deeply honored to have with me Sheikh Muhammad Ilyas from Dewsbury, whose father I knew quite well. And those who've been involved and linked to the Tabligh Jamaat movement will know, because he was known as Ishaq Bhai Patel, who became the Amir of the Jamaat movement after the passing away of Hafiz Shah Patel, my uncle, a few years ago, 7 years ago now. And he held the role until his demise when he went to Pakistan. May Allah bless them both and give them the highest place in Jannah. So I have with me, as I say, Sheikh Ilyas, who is here. And I'll tell you why he's here. I went to an exhibition on Saturday in Batley, an exhibition I just heard about but never seen it. And this exhibition is the Kabbatul Kiswa, and it is Kiswatul Kabba. It is an amazing exhibition of the Kaaba and the surroundings of the gilafs and some of the other artifacts and equipments that come from the Kaaba and the Masjid al-Nabawi as well. And all those people who came to see it, I don't think anybody else saw anything like that. They were mesmerized by what was on display. And Sheikh Ilyas is the custodian and the curator of the exhibition. In a while, I'll be showing you some of the pictures from that exhibition, and inshallah one day we'll have a proper discussion debate about how this exhibition came about and what its purpose is and where it's going and what we'd like to see happen for the future. So, Hazrat Sheikh Maulana Ilyas, Muhammad Ilyas Sahab, welcome to the program. I'm really pleased that you are here. As I described, you are the custodian and the curator of this exhibition. We'll be showing pictures of it very soon. But I mean, you're a local person. As I say, your father, mashallah, became the Amir of the Jamaat movement, and you grew up in Dewsbury as well. And obviously, this is something that you have been blessed with, and no doubt about it. Now, how did you come about with this exhibition in the first place?
MashaAllah, thank you so much, Iqbal Bhai, for having me on the program, first of all. And thank you to Ikra and all its staff for doing the logistics to make this happen. Alhamdulillah, the Kiswa that you saw is obviously a very, very unique item. And mesmerized is the exact word I would have used. How it came about, why it came about, first and foremost, is the will of Allah that it happened. But obviously, behind the will of Allah, there is a motion of sequences that enables things to happen. And me becoming the custodian, the guardian, the benefactor who chose me to have it, all of these events build it up to me receiving the Kiswa, and still ongoing. I am still getting consignments coming to me from Makkah,
MashaAllah.
even as we speak. The last items that arrived were only last week.
All right.
They haven't even been opened yet. Now, a gentleman who is a muqimin, a resident of Makkah Mu'azzama, of a very elite family. MashaAllah, there's a lot of elitists out there, but he is a very elite family. They have direct access to the Haramain, to the Baladul Amin, to the kingship and to the princeship, etc. he met me once and asked me for a favor, some help. And I did what I could to help him. On a second occasion, his children were here, his eldest son, along with his family were here. And he got in touch with me, came to see me in my Birmingham office. And we did what we could. This is all going back pre-COVID.
All right.
And we kept that relationship just by emails and talking, no lengthy chats, right down to the point that we don't even know each other's second names.
All
We
right.
kept it very, very platonic.
Mm.
But I must have struck a very, very deep chord with the old chap that before he passed, he assigned quite a big portion of this Kiswa that is in their family's heirlooms
All right.
and in their warehouse.
So how did they come across, how did they acquire this?
Hmm.
I mean, like you say, they're elite family. So, I mean,
To understand the question,
because
and the
what
answer.
is obviously these artifacts, these historical artifacts, are not the preserve of everybody.
Not
They're very
at all.
limited people who can have access to them.
Absolutely.
And obviously, it's having some real
Intrigue.
nobody can really sort of say the Makkans all have access to it,
No.
right? Only a few people will have access to it. So there must be something unique about this particular family, so that they have access to this particular sort of lineage of artifacts, etc.
I fully respect everybody's intrigue in this, and it's natural. Now, to understand this family, I'm going to give a bit of background that the Kiswa is such a unique product. First of all, you have the plain black cloth, then you have what you call the brocade, which is the golden stuff, which is made of 22 karat gold on silver cord,
Right.
and pure silver. But the plain cloth is distributed, it is fragmented into pieces and given out. But the brocade is always handed back to one of two families
Right.
every year. When the Kiswa is removed, 1 year the entire collection of the golden brocade will go to Ali Saud, the royal household.
The royal household, yeah.
And they will keep it in their secure warehouses and pass it through their princes and princelings, or some Muslim nation kings may get it, like the king of Morocco, he has a set.
Right.
The king of Sultan of Brunei, he has a set. King Sabah of Kuwait, he has, etc. So very high level Muslim kingships. But the second year, the brocade and the golden Kiswa does not go to Ali Saud, it goes to a different family, which is the Shaibi family.
Right.
This is the family, the descendants, the direct descendants of Hazrat Uthman radiallahu ta'ala.
Sure,
anhu.
mashallah, right.
And it goes to them. Why are they the descendants? Because at Fateh Makkah, after a bit of an altercation, the key that had been snatched out of the hands of one of the people from Makkah was re-handed back by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to this Khandan.
Right.
And at that time Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, I am giving you this key to the house of Allah,
Right.
and no person, not even a Zalim Basha, will take it from you again.
Subhanallah.
Until today, it is the preserve. It is the call of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Yes.
It is written
And nobody
in
can
stone.
go against it. Yeah,
And no one has
exactly.
gone against it. No
Yeah.
Ottoman king, no Mamluk Basha, no Yazid, no Muawiyah. No one ever took the keys off them. When they have needed the keys, a request is made, and with royal protocol they arrive, and the key is then handed over to one of the family's younger people, who will insert it and open the door and put the key back in his bag.
Right.
And the doors are pushed open by the sentries, and then entry is given.
Right.
So the key is
Subhanallah.
never handed into anyone's hand either.
It's kept by this family all the time.
It is kept by this
Right.
family.
So, I mean, from what the Sheikh is explaining, we'll be showing, as I said, we'll be showing you the keys and other artifacts that were on display on Saturday in Batley at the Medina Masjid Hall. And as I said, probably about more than 2,000 people, more than 1,000 women, sisters came in during the allocated time for the sisters, and certainly in the afternoon when the men came in as well, there was more than 1,000 people there as well. And there were young kids in the madrasa time who also saw this exhibition. And it is there to try and make sure that people have access to something that you will never ever get access to. I mean, people who go for Umrah and Hajj, they try and get to the Kaaba, but again, to struggle to get there is also frowned upon. So this is an opportunity for people to get as close as possible as they can. As I say, people are absolutely mesmerized by what they saw. And inshallah, this exhibition, with Sheikh's efforts and his colleagues' efforts, will be traveling throughout the country over the next few years, and people will be able to see for themselves what I'm talking about. And if anybody wants to ring in and ask any further questions, as you know, the phone number will appear on your screen, but it's 01274 214 299. And if you want to ask any questions from Sheikh Muhammad Ilyas Saab, about this exhibition and what it's all about, please feel free to do so. Sheikh, obviously, mashallah, this is a huge opportunity, and this is a huge blessing to you from Allah, but then this family, obviously. Now, how many artifacts have you got so far? I know you said there's so many. I mean, we were in a big hall, a massive area, and what the Sheikh said to me was, this is a small portion of the exhibition that he, or the artifacts that he's got. Now, how do you feel about having this huge responsibility? I mean, it must be an enormous burden on you, in a way. The pressure of that, to try and preserve it, to keep it, to secure it. I mean, that in itself must be. You don't have the resources that say any of the sheikhs and the sultans and the amirs and the princes have got over there. So you got volunteers who do this with you.
Absolutely. How many pieces we have? Because of the frequency of the parcels incoming, I have got to the point where I've stopped counting now. I stopped counting at 92.
Oh, mashallah.
I think 92 was about 3/4 of the way so far.
Right.
So I envisage that we will probably end up with about 175 artifacts.
Right.
What I can put into weight terms, I can tell you that the manifest logs show that 2.5 tons
oh my goodness.
of Kiswa has arrived so far.
Right.
Most of it has been packaged in 75 kilo packets or packages and delivered under good security.
Right.
How we will end up with how many pieces, wallahu alam. The responsibility, in all honesty, for the first 2 weeks I couldn't get my head around it.
I'm sure.
It was quite bewildering. Okay, what's going on? And then I went through a period of where I was fearful that what if someone
It put
means
the
harm?
frighteners on me.
What if someone means to harm someone?
Yeah, exactly.
Because we do have some favorable characters out there, and if someone was to know the location, what would they do? There are no scruples for some people, but alhamdulillah, then it dawned on me that Allah sent it.
Allah protect it.
Allah will protect it.
Inshallah.
He has protected it. For example, some of the Kiswa is 240 years old.
So some of the items you've got is over 240 years old.
Yes, which is from Sultan Abdul Hamid, Sultan Abdul Hamid.
Right.
Very, very
and
old.
And this goes through the various different sort of empires that came
various
across.
Khilafats.
Yeah.
Yes. They have been protected by Allah to still exist today.
Right.
I mean, unfortunately, the land of Hijaz, the entire Middle East, has been in turmoil for the last 100 years since the demise of the Uthmani Khilafat. A lot of relics were destroyed. A lot have gone missing. A lot was stolen.
So what sort of, I mean, as I say, we'll show some of this. But what sort of items have you got? I mean, I know you got the Gilaf of the Kaaba, and there's one piece there that weighs 120 kilos with the Gilaf, wasn't it? That was sort of mounted on a big stand. And the size of it was 9 meters?
9 meters tall.
Yeah.
3.9 meters wide. It weighs, correcting you, 124 kilos.
Wow.
And it is the actual Kiswa which hangs above the door of Khane Kaaba. It's called Babul Kaaba.
Yeah.
And this door piece, this Kaaba piece, Babul Kiswa, is the most distinctive piece because it contains all of the intelligence required to understand who is in charge of the Kiswa, who paid for it, who financed it, in which year. It's got the name of the benefactor on it.
Right.
The king. This particular piece was from 1422 Hijri, which is King Fahd Abdul Aziz Al Saud. Now that's quite a new piece, 1422. But the rest of the collection is 1440, which is only 6 years old. The pieces, some are as big as the ones that you've described. Some are the top ribbon, which is the hizam. They are 9 meters long. Each one of them ribbons weighs 78 kilograms.
Wow.
It takes 5 to circumnavigate the top ribbon of the Kaaba. Then you have the smaller hizams, which is the second row. Then you have the Chaldeans, which are the lantern-shaped golden things.
Right.
And they are absolutely beautiful. Then you have the corner pieces, which are square, which have Surah Ikhlas on. They are called the samadis.
Right.
Then you have the special brocade that comes down over Hajr Aswad, the sacred white
The
stone.
yes.
That's a separate piece. So all of these pieces are here.
Right.
Na'udhu billahi min dhalik. You could replicate Khane Kaaba just for photography reasons, I mean, and you wouldn't know that it's
You were
not the
you were
same
not
one.
there.
You're not there.
Yeah, yeah.
So all of it. But that's just
But
Kiswa.
it's just not the covering of the Kaaba. You got the other things as well.
Yes.
For example, the door locks.
The
and
door
the
locks,
keys of,
the keys for
yeah.
Khane Kaaba, 3 different kinds. The keys for Rawda of Medina Munawwara, 2 different kinds. We have the inner Kiswa for Khane Kaaba, which is green, very similar to the green inner Kiswa of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's Rawda Aqdas that we never see because of the golden gates that we go past.
Yeah.
We never get to see inside it. Those. Then even more, we have the Kiswa which is on the inside ceiling of Khane Kaaba, which is red.
Right.
We have the Kiswa which is the entire facing wall in front of the 3 qubur of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Hazrat Abu Bakr and Hazrat Umar radiyallahu ta'ala anhum ajma'in. The actual red Kiswa with the 3 plaques describing the occupants of these holy qubur,
Grave,
mashallah.
yes. Yeah, yeah.
Then we have pieces which are not related to the Kaaba of this era. They are from the Ottoman era or the Abbasid era or the Mamluk era. Again, Kiswa. Then we have swords.
So during these transitions of periods, different periods, I mean, we have this image of the Kiswa being black and in gold, right? Embroidery.
Yes.
We're going to go for a short break now, inshallah. And don't go away. As I say, enjoy your tea, coffee, faluda, and that's it. And we'll come back to you.